Hello damsels, ever wondered why some people have an unexplained dislike for others for no apparent reason? I mean, when there's no obvious cause. It's like they've got a secret grudge that's hard to pin down. This kind of puzzling behavior often pops up when we talk about Sigma females. Despite their chill attitude and knack for staying out of drama, Sigma females often find themselves on the receiving end of unwarranted criticism and negativity. It's like some folks just can't wrap their heads around them. Join us as we dig into 9 weird and wild reasons why some people seem to have a chip on their shoulder when it comes to Sigma females. Please share and subscribe. Your support means a lot to us and our community. Let's get started. Number 1, they exhibit behaviors that are erratic and challenging to manage. Let's break down why some people struggle with Sigma females and their unpredictable nature. Imagine dealing with someone whose actions are like a roller coaster ride. You never quite know what's coming next. For many, this can be unsettling and frustrating, especially if they prefer clear-cut, predictable interactions. Sigma females are like rare gems in a sea of conformity. They march to their own drumbeat, defying the norms and challenging expectations. This independent spirit can throw some folks off balance, especially those who thrive on control and predictability. In social settings or relationships, unpredictability can be a curveball that disrupts the status quo. People often prefer interacting with individuals they can easily understand and influence. It gives them a sense of power and security. But when faced with a Sigma female who's tough to pin down or sway, some people feel at a loss. Instead of appreciating their freedom and individuality, they might end up disliking them simply because they can't control them. It might sound absurd to dislike someone for being themselves, but it's a reality many encounter. Some prioritize predictability over embracing unique personalities, even when those personalities don't harm anyone. So next time you encounter someone like a Sigma female who keeps you on your toes, try to appreciate their authenticity. Embrace the unexpected, and you might just learn something new about yourself and others. Number 2, they aren't swayed by titles or status, a trait that is frequently interpreted as disrespectful. It's amusing how some folks can get all worked up when they encounter someone who isn't impressed by fancy titles or high-ranking job positions. This often occurs with Sigma females who simply view everyone as equal, regardless of their title. They believe in treating everyone with the same level of respect, whether they're the CEO or the janitor. However, this can irk some individuals, particularly those who've worked hard for their status symbols and expect a certain level of acknowledgement or admiration. When Sigma females don't fawn over someone's achievements or title, it's often seen as rude or disrespectful. It's a bit of a stretch to label someone as disrespectful just because they don't make a big fuss over titles. They're not trying to be unkind or diminish anyone's accomplishments. They just don't view titles as the most important aspect of a person. It's peculiar to be disliked for something like that, but it underscores how some people place a significant emphasis on status and anticipate others to do the same. Sometimes what truly matters is how we treat each other, not the titles we hold. At number 3, they consistently speak the truth even in uncomfortable situations. They're straight shooters, no sugarcoating necessary, even in those awkward moments. Everyone says they appreciate honesty, but let's face it, hearing the unfiltered truth can be tough, especially from someone who doesn't mince words. Enter the Sigma females. They're fearless when it comes to speaking their minds, even if it's not exactly what others were hoping to hear. This no-nonsense attitude can definitely ruffle a few feathers. Imagine you're in a group where everyone's nodding along just to keep things peaceful. But then there's that one person who points out the obvious truth. It's refreshing for some, but for others it's just awkward. People often prefer comfort over truth, and when faced with harsh realities, they might feel exposed or embarrassed. This discomfort can lead to negative reactions, sometimes even directing anger towards the messenger rather than the message itself. It's easier to dislike someone for being honest than to confront the truths they're bringing to light. This often results in misunderstanding their intentions, painting them as blunt or insensitive when they're simply committed to being genuine. It's a strange world where honesty can make you less popular, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Number 4. They prioritize logic over emotions, a stance that may appear detached to certain individuals. In the minds of many, displaying emotions is closely associated with warmth and human connection. When someone consistently prioritizes logic over feelings, they may come across as distant or aloof. This is why some individuals find it challenging to connect with Sigma females who lean towards logic. These women carefully assess situations, relying on facts and evidence before making decisions or forming opinions. While this approach is pragmatic and often leads to sound judgments, it can make personal interactions feel less intimate. For example, in a scenario where most would offer comfort, these logical thinkers might propose solutions instead. It's not that they lack empathy or careless. Their way of showing concern is simply different. They believe in addressing the root cause of the problem rather than just providing emotional support. However, this can be misconstrued as insensitivity or a lack of compassion. This misunderstanding leads some people not to appreciate their logical perspective, instead viewing them with skepticism or even aversion. Number 5, on our list. They don't readily accept things on the surface. They delve deeper for understanding. Sigma females are natural detectives, always digging beneath the surface to uncover the deeper meaning behind everything. Their tendency to question rather than accept things at face value can come off as doubting or mistrusting others. Many people aren't used to being put under the microscope. They prefer their words to be taken at face value without further investigation. When Sigma females start probing, it can make some feel like their integrity is being challenged. Ironically, this quality should be admired. It demonstrates a sharp mind and a genuine thirst for understanding rather than superficial knowledge. However, it often becomes another reason for dislike. Some may interpret this trait as cynicism or excessive skepticism, when in reality Sigma females are naturally curious and value authenticity. Their inclination to look beyond the surface can unsettle those who are content with superficial appearances or those who may have something to conceal. In a world where accepting things at face value is often the norm, their refusal to do so without question sets them apart. Unfortunately, this difference isn't always welcomed with open arms. Before we continue, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the Dynasty Damsel community. Your support is invaluable to us. We're a new channel and aiming to expand significantly, reaching out to more women like you. So, hit that like button and join us on this exciting journey. Now, let's move on to our next point. Number 6. Their refusal to conform to traditional rules can make others feel uneasy. These individuals choose to march to the beat of their own drum and aren't afraid to ignore societal norms that don't make sense to them. This can shake up those around them because most people are used to following a certain order or set of rules. When someone confidently goes against the grain, it can be surprising or even feel like a challenge to the established way of doing things. They're unafraid to question why things are done a certain way, and they're not interested in following a path simply because it's well trodden. This independence and confidence in charting their own course can be viewed negatively by those who prefer conformity. People might perceive them as rebels without a cause, or as individuals who think they're superior because they don't adhere to the same rules as everyone else. In reality, they're simply unwilling to compromise their values or individuality for the sake of fitting in. This misunderstanding is one of the many reasons why they might face dislike, even though their intentions are to live authentically and not to make others uncomfortable. It's odd, but sometimes people just don't like those who don't conform. Even if they're not causing any harm, it can remind them of their own insecurities or fears. Number 7. They are unapologetically discerning when it comes to admitting individuals into their inner circle. They're picky about who they let into their inner circle, and they don't make any apologies for it. Being choosy about their friends can make some folks feel left out or not good enough, kind of like being picked last in gym class. It stings. Sigma females simply want to surround themselves with people who truly understand them and share similar vibes. This isn't a negative thing, but to others it might seem snobbish or like they think they're superior. They're just seeking genuine connections rather than superficial relationships. However, this trait can rub some people the wrong way, especially if they've attempted to get close and were met with a distant attitude. Instead of seeing it as a choice for deeper connections, they perceive it as a personal rejection. This can lead to hurt feelings and misunderstandings, causing others to quickly label them as unfriendly or arrogant. In reality, they're just cautious about who they let into their inner circle. It's strange to dislike someone for being careful with their friendships, but it illustrates how people can misinterpret things sometimes. Number 9. Their inclination to minimize unnecessary conversation might be perceived as secretive. Some individuals find it unsettling when others prefer solitude over engaging in every conversation. This is particularly common with Sigma females, who carefully select their words and don't feel compelled to fill every silence with chatter. They're often perceived as mysterious or even secretive, which oddly enough leads some people to dislike them. It's strange to think that not being talkative all the time could be viewed negatively. However, for those who are more outgoing, it might seem like these reserved individuals are hiding something or aren't interested in forming connections. But in reality, these women simply believe in speaking when they have something meaningful to contribute, rather than talking for the sake of it. They prioritize actions over words and prefer to express themselves through their deeds. Nevertheless, their quiet demeanor can be misconstrued as standoffish or secretive behavior, making them susceptible to misunderstandings. It's peculiar to hate someone for their communication style, especially considering that everyone has their unique way of connecting with others. Number 8. They strongly oppose authority figures who demand unquestioning obedience without providing evidence or justification. Because they value independence and regularly question authority, Sigma females often clash with those who demand unquestioning loyalty without providing evidence or justification. They simply cannot go along with things they don't believe in or follow orders that don't make sense to them. This trait can irk those in positions of power, leading to tension and misunderstanding. It's absurd how some people are quick to dislike these women simply because they ask for proof or justification before obeying an order. It's like questioning the status quo automatically brands them as rebels or troublemakers. However, Sigma females are just exercising critical thinking and ensuring their actions align with their values and logic. However, in a world where blending in is often seen as the simplest route, their refusal to blindly follow unproven authority can brand them as troublesome or confrontational. This dislike arises from a preference for conformity over questioning, which is an odd basis for discrediting someone. It underscores how society can prioritize obedience over critical thinking, leading to unjustified resentment toward those who dare to challenge the status quo. As the saying goes, it's easy to hate what we don't understand, and unfortunately, Sigma females frequently find themselves in that category. In conclusion, Sigma females embody a unique blend of independence, authenticity, and resilience that can sometimes be misunderstood by those who prefer conformity and predictability. Despite facing unwarranted criticism and resistance, Sigma females remain steadfast in their commitment to staying true to themselves and pursuing personal growth on their own terms. Their willingness to challenge norms, speak their minds, and live authentically serves as an inspiring reminder of the importance of embracing individuality and daring to think differently. Rather than conforming to societal expectations, Sigma females pave their own path, setting an example of courage and self-assurance. Ultimately, their journey highlights the beauty of authenticity and the power of embracing one's true nature, even in the face of adversity. Thank you, ladies, for watching. Stay safe and beautiful, damsels.